Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my new quick and easy series of tutorials. I came up with this idea to try to deliver more content to you on a more regular basis. I'll still be keeping my longer format for the longer tutorials where I actually introduce myself and chit chat with you face to face. But hopefully this shorter format will be enjoyed by those of you who don't want long videos. So let's get right to it. Today we're going to be making this necklace and earring set made with Lapis Gemstones, faceted glass beads, and a Peacock Pendant. With fall around the corner, I thought this would make a great addition to your jewelry collection. We'll be using the beads that came in the Bargain Bead Box for the month of July 2023. The name of that collection is Plumage. So let's go ahead and get started. Here are the items that we're going to be using from the Bargain Bead Box. I have these Lapis Gemstones that measure 8mm in size. I have these crystal rondelles, faceted rondelles, that measure 8 by 6mm, and the color is Indigo AB. And I have these English cut rounds that measure 6mm, and the color is also Indigo AB. I also have some bead caps, they're filigree bead caps, that measure 10mm across. I have this beautiful Peacock Pendant. It measures 33 by 20mm. This one's really pretty, I love it. Look how pretty that is. There's the back. It's also made out of lapis with a brass design. I have this laser cut leaf charm. It measures 24 by 11mm. And I have this toggle clasp. As you can see, it has a feather design. I'm also going to be using a couple of other items from my stash. I'm going to be using these beautiful rhinestone spacer beads. The rhinestones have an AB finish. Let me show you. Aren't these gorgeous? I think they're so beautiful. Look at that. They measure 8mm across, and I think they're 3mm thick. I'm also going to be using some 20 gauge wire. I'm not particular about the brand. Any brand will do. And this one's in a silver color, as you can see. And I'm going to be using some jump rings as well, and some head pins and ear wire hooks for the earrings. But I'll pull those out later on when we get ready to use them. So now that we've gone over all the materials, let's go ahead and get started with the project. We're going to start by building some beaded components, and these are the beads we're going to use. We're going to build 3 kinds of beaded components, and one's going to be a little bit larger than the other 2, and it's going to have more beads, and that's why I have 2 different sizes of wire down here. These measure 2.5 inches, and these measure about 1.25 inches, and once again this wire is 20 gauge. So let me show you the larger beaded component first. I'm going to create a simple loop. Using my flat nose pliers, I'm going to grab the wire about 1/2 inch down, kink it, and now using some round nose pliers, I'm going to grab the end of the wire so that it's flush. You don't want it sticking out. And now I'm simply going to form a loop. The first thing I'm going to load is one of these English cut beads, and then one of these bead caps, and then one of these Lapis Gemstones, one of these crystal rondelles, another Lapis Gemstone, another bead cap, and another one of these English cut round beads. So now we're going to form a loop at this end. I'm going to grab the wire right where the bead is, line up the bottom loop, kink it, cut off the excess, leaving about 1/2 inch. Grab the end with my round nose pliers, make sure that it's flush, and form another loop. You want to make sure it's closed, and you want to make sure your loop is centered as well. The other thing I like to do is to make sure my loops are facing the same direction. So I'm going to grab both of them like this. And there's my first beaded component. Let me show you the second one. Once again, I'm going to grab the wire about 1/2 inch down, kink it, grab the end with my round nose pliers, form a loop, I'm going to load one of these rondelles, Grab the wire again with my flat nose pliers, line up the bottom loop, kink it, cut off the excess, leaving 1/2 inch. Grab the end with my round nose pliers and form another loop. Let me line up my loops. So here's another beaded component, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So once again, I'm going to kink my wire 1/2 inch down, grab the end with my round nose pliers, form a loop. You want to make sure it's centered. Load one of these beads. Grab the wire with my flat nose pliers, line up the bottom loop, kink it, cut off the excess, leaving 1/2 inch. Grab the end with my round nose pliers and form a loop. Let me line them up. So these are the 3 beaded components that we're going to be building. Very simple, it doesn't get any easier than that. So I'm going to create a bunch of them off camera, and then I'll come back and show you how many I built of each one. I know I'm going to build 4 of these, but I'm not sure how many I'm going to build of each of these. My necklace is going to be about 18 inches long approximately, so I'll figure it out once I build a bunch, and then I'll come back and show you. So I'll see you in a few moments. I'm back. As you can see, I've built all the beaded components, and I'm estimating that each one of these strands is going to measure about 9 inches. I'll confirm that once I connect all of these beaded components to each other. But as you can see, I have 2 of these larger ones on this strand, so there's 4 altogether, and then 2 of these 8x6 rondelles here and 5 there for a total of 7, so 14 total between the 2 strands, and then 5 of these 6mm English cut rounds for a total of 10. The clasp is going to go at this end, that's why I placed the smaller ones there, and the pendant will be hung at this end. So let's go ahead and connect these beaded components, and that's very simple. I'm just going to open up this loop like this, take the next one, slide it in, and close it. And now I'm going to open up this one, take the next one, slide it in, and close it. And that's all there is to it. So let me keep going. As you can see, I've connected all the beaded components to each other, and now we're ready for the pendant. Here's the pendant. I'm going to use a large jump ring. I'm going to connect both the strands and the pendant to that same jump ring. And the reason I'm doing that is because of that bail, the shape of that bail. And this is a 7.5 inch jump ring, so it's pretty large, but it's pretty strong as well. I think it's about 19 gauge. And this is very simple. I'm going to open up the jump ring, connect the strand, and then the pendant, and the other strand, and close it up. Now I am going to attach a little charm to that, this one right here. And for that I'll use 2 jump rings, one 5mm jump ring and one 4mm jump ring. Let me go ahead and open up this little one. going to attach it to the charm and close it up. And now let me open up this one. I'm going to attach it to the 4mm jump ring. And now I'm going to attach it to this larger one and close it up. So that's what it looks like. I think it makes it a little bit more interesting having that little charm there. What do you think, guys? Of course, it would look just as nice without it, but I thought I would make good use of it since we received 4. So now we just have to connect the clasp. Initially, I was going to use this toggle clasp, but I changed my mind. And the reason I changed my mind is because of that loop in the back of this toggle clasp. I just think that would be a little bit too uncomfortable on the back of the neck. So I'm going to use a regular lobster clasp and 2 6mm jump rings. And this part's easy as well. I'm just going to open up this jump ring. And now I'm going to connect the clasp. And I'm going to connect it to the right side of the necklace, because that's generally the dominant side for most people. And now let me open up this jump ring. And connect it to this side. And there's the finished Lapis Gemstone and glass bead necklace with a peacock pendant. I think it's super elegant and very attractive. And actually, I haven't measured it yet, so let me do that now. Each strand measures about 9.5 inches. So it's about 20 inches, including the clasp and the jump rings. Obviously, if you wanted something shorter, you would remove some of these components. That's the nice thing about making your own jewelry. You can customize it to suit yourself. So now we're going to make a quick pair of earrings. Let me get the materials for that. Here are the materials for the earrings. As you can see, I've already built one. And this component is almost the same as the ones that are on the necklace, except that instead of having 2 English cut beads, one on each end, there's only the one. And it's on a head pin, as you can see. So let's go ahead and assemble this one. I'm going to slide on this bead cap first, and then this 8mm round, and then the rhinestone spacer, and the other lapis 8mm round, and the other bead cap, and this English cut round. And once again, I'm going to create a simple loop. So I'm going to grab the pin right where the bead is, kink it, cut off the excess, leaving about 1/2 inch. Grab the end with my round nose pliers, making sure that it's flush, and form a loop. You want to make sure your loop is centered, and you want to make sure that it's closed. So now I'm going to open up this loop, slide on the ear wire hook, and close it. So here's a very nice pair of earrings to match the necklace. Let me get the necklace and I'll arrange it on my board. Well, here's the finished necklace and earring set, and I think it looks beautiful. I love the lapis lazuli beads, and I think the sparkly crystals and rhinestone spacer beads really add a lot. I hope you like it as well. Let me slide my board down so you can see the top of the necklace. There's the top. So anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to end it by modeling it for you, so stick around for that. Thanks so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye.